The idea for Retrograce sort of came to me while I was already in the middle of producing my upcoming album, and I was able to write the whole song relatively quickly and then thought it would fit really well, so I went ahead and recorded it and produced it. So Retrograce is already kind of a made-up word that I thought was more fitting. It kind of comes from the word retrograde, which is regarding to the term of going backwards, like looking into the past or moving backwards. But I thought that retrograde in itself wasn't really the fitting word for it, so I thought it would be a better idea if I could add the word grace, like grace in terms of forgiveness, or moving on, or acceptance. And I thought that putting those two words together and kind of making up a word of my own made for a more interesting title. I actually got the idea for Retrograce when I was driving home through a rural part of where I live, and the road that I was driving on was wide open, so I could have a very clear view of the sky and the horizon, and there was this really heavy thunderstorm that was rolling through, and it was one of those storms that completely covered the windshield, and there was lightning that I could see all the way across one side of the sky to the other, and the inspiration for the chorus of the song kind of came immediately from that. Just envisioning lightning striking across the sky, talking about, the struggle of trying to drive home, trying to find a way home, and I started to draw parallels of, other struggles of trying to find my way back into acceptance of myself, or perhaps finding ways to, continue my own path and find other ways that I can, move forward, which is part of where I got the inspiration of using the word retrograde. The instrumentation came pretty quickly after that. I used an acoustic guitar. I actually strummed it without a pick, which kind of gave it a classical guitar sort of feel, and the chord progression for itself seems to be moving forward ever so slightly. The chords are very lifting and moving from lower to higher notes, and so I thought that was also a good parallel for the first line, which is making my way up step by step. And I kind of like to use that little artistic movement there so that you could feel that in the music as well. If I had to use one word to describe Retrograce, it would be determined. I feel that compared to Dusk, which I've previously spoken about, Dusk had a lot of feelings of uncertainty that were conveyed in the music, whereas Retrograce is sort of a sense of drive, where I feel that I know the situation, I know the circumstances, I know my own strengths, and I'm going to face things head on. I must say I do like where Retrograce is going in terms of my sound, and I do feel that it's opened a lot of opportunities to explore how to incorporate sounds and instruments that I previously had not really used before, and I definitely feel like it's going to be an influence on later songs that I release down the road.